My mother went around pointing fingers at all the other churches and telling me how everybody else is a heathen. And how Catholics are idol worshippers and all that stuff, but I was secretly very jealous of the Catholics. You know, because they had God the Mother, they had this Madonna and Child, and they had incense, and they had statues, and they had some magic going on, you know? So anyway, I couldn't say that to my mom. What a different feeling to come to your church. A church that acknowledges the pain of the world and acknowledges our part in creating it and our part in helping to heal it. Acknowledges that God is masculine and feminine. I heard that from your pastor. Acknowledges that we are the active agents of God in this world. That speech about Juneteenth, absolutely beautiful. Going to a pride picnic in a time when, again, to love differently, to look differently is illegal in our country of freedom. There's a safety here, and I appreciate that. It almost feels like the title of my talk is redundant. Now, I don't need to tell you guys how to be love warriors. I mean, really. This is doing it. This is doing it. Being active members of a congregation who proclaim it. So thank you. Thank you very much. Now, Gene keeps saying, do whatever you want to do, and then he tells me what he wants me to do. But that keeps saying, I don't know if you'll want. We didn't say anything about you, Gene. So, oh shoot, I have a different instrument. So what I was going to talk about is a little bit about how to change the energy of this time, in the moments that we're in. How to change what I call closed moments of disconnection into open moments of community. What we call in my profession, spontaneous community. Isn't that cool? How to create spontaneous community. So my profession is, well, I'm a performer, obviously, but I'm also a music therapist. And I spend my time helping babies be born. I spend my time helping to ease the passage of people who are at the end of their lives. I spend my time with those who are going through addiction and recovery, those who have different and special needs in this world, those who are at the fringe of our societies, elders with memory care, at-risk youth who are filled with fire and passion and righteous anger. I am in a very privileged position. Oops, this thing is hot. I am what you call a trauma-informed therapist. I study trauma, that's the hot word now. You guys been hearing about trauma? It's acknowledging that we live in a wounded world that has been wounded for a very, very long time. And of course, we're made to break and to come back together and to fall apart and to come back together. There's nothing wrong with that. We have all the resilience and all the skills we need, all the wisdom right within us, in our hearts, in our bodies, in our spirits. It has just been so long now, and there's been so much tragedy that has gone unhealed. We can go back further than the world wars, but look at World War I. As soon as we put technology into the mix of the way humans treat each other, things got pretty out of hand pretty quick, didn't they? And in the way that I study and with the people I study with, we talk about that. We talk about there are generations upon generations of ancestral trauma now that has gone unhealed. and it gets passed down and passed down. And now even the very air that we're breathing all over the world is broken. The children today who are coming into this world, who are trying to launch into adulthood, are having a very, very hard time. Yesterday I went to another memorial, which was why I was not at the Pride picnic as I had hoped to be. Another memorial of another young person who didn't make it during the launch. So we know that trauma separates us, puts distance between. And we know that healing returns connection, claims community, offers compassion, which means feeling with. That's all that means. Feeling with. If we look at the state of the world, we will despair. So let's not look at it as a whole, not very often, unless we have enough people and resources, like right now. And instead look at what is within our realm in this moment to do our little piece of healing. Where can I bring connection where there's disconnection? Where can I bring community where there's loneliness? If we all do our own little bit, it works. Because there's actually I think almost 8 billion humans on Earth now. We're not alone. And that's the great part. We're community pack animals. So one of the beautiful things about being a music therapist is that I say to people, what is the #1 skill to be an excellent musician, I guess, and or human? Excellent musician, it's the same skill to be an excellent human being. Jean's doing it. This is an ASL. You can say it. Listening. Listening. And I don't mean hearing. And if your hearing is impaired, 2 of my 3 children are hearing impaired. They wear hearing aids. My son, who's half deaf, is the best musician I know. We're not talking about hearing. We're talking about listening. Which, as we study it, turns out to be the same thing as presence. So when I work with my different people, my different groups of people, and we work on listening, the first thing we do is work on listening to our own selves. Especially if people are going through a hard time, at risk, depressed, trying to get off some sort of form of substance abuse or eating disorder. Those sorts of dis-ease infect us when we are not connected. And when we learn how to listen to ourselves, and then people say, well, which part of me should I listen to? I've got 100 different voices going at once, right? Which I actually completely understand. That's the whole point. I can't tell you. You listen to you and figure out what is true. For how will we know if we don't even know what all the voices are saying? And one thing I'm sure you all know is that there is a story running inside of you or a story outside being told to you, and it doesn't make your heart feel good. And I don't mean happy. Your heart can feel sad. But I mean connected, real. Then it is not the Word of God. If somebody says to you, if I tell myself a story, oh, Meg, you're late again, and you're always late, and look, you don't look good, and your hair needs washing. God, you're such a slob, all right? Some stories from my childhood. You're laughing because you remember, right? Well, as we grow up, we tell ourselves the stories. We just take over from what was told to us, right? Do it to ourselves. That story doesn't make my heart sing. I know it is not the word of God. Sure, I can improve on my time management, okay? But I am not a slob. I am not a mess up, or whatever it happens to be. Only in hearing what I tell myself can I start to heal that. And when I do, there's so much less noise for me to hear you. For me to hear you. And then for me to hear you hearing me back. Because this co-created world that we live in, when I close my eyes, I am alone in my interior world, figuring it out, mapping it, finding places of peace. And when I open my eyes, we are here together in this co-created world, making music. It's no fun when we have solos all the time. I can feel you feeling me. This resonant world is where we heal it together. And there ain't nothing better than singing to do that. Singing comes from the deepest place inside of us. Our true, authentic, vulnerable voice. That's why most people don't sing in our culture, right? And goes out into the world and reverberates in vibrations that are physical, yet invisible. Cool, huh? And goes on and on and on and on. That's why I do the work I do. Plus, it's really fun. And that matters to me. So if you would all want to sing a little song? Yeah? Sing a little song? And before we do, let's do a little bit of that practice, okay? So Jean said, why don't you mention when you were working on the train? I worked for years on the Grand Canyon Railway. And I'm an entertainer, we're dressing up in old-fashioned clothes, people from all over the world, really yummy, because I used to love to travel and I had too many kids. So that's what I did. And these people came from, like, literally every country, every continent except Antarctica I ran into. And some people would like their cowboy tunes and stuff. And me, I'm like, ooh, how can we create spontaneous community from people all over the world? Super fun. And what I found out is it's only Western people, Canada, US, and Western Europe, who don't sing. What do you all think about that? Is that surprising? Not really. Sure, some people do. Sometimes you get the Sweet Adelaides on there and stuff like that, or Sweet Adelines, and they're all singing. But really, the hardest people to motivate to open their mouth and let out their truth, their vulnerability, were white folks. For reals. Especially Lutherans. You may speak the truth, at least the Missouri Synod. If we don't have an organ, we're not singing. That's how I feel. So I challenge you in the best possible fun way, not in a competitive way. Because that's the whole problem. That's why people don't sing. Everything's a competition in our culture. I think your pastor mentioned that, the individualism, right? Proving, thinking, singing is not about thinking, it's the body. Listening is not about thinking, it's the body. If we learn to give and to receive, we got this, you guys. We totally got this. We can weave it back together. So I challenge you to take a couple breaths. In fact, we'll do one together, but put your feet flat on the floor. Imagining the energy of Mother Earth moving up through you. And then as straight as your spine can be, because, they're not always after a while. Point the crown of your head towards the heavens. As humans, we are born to link the heavens and the earth. That's what we do. We move the great spirit down and the great mother up, and we swirl it in us, and we create this world. So I challenge you for 3 breaths to listen more fully to what's going on inside you. And then we're going to sing a song. Breathe in and up the energy of the earth. And breathe down through you the energy of the heavens. And in. And out. And in. And out. Little blues tune. I spent this last week working in a camp for children who have one or more parent incarcerated. And these are all children ages 8 and up from Phoenix and Tucson area. Some of them never having been outside the city before. They were scared of the dark. We were up in the forest, one of those camps. And they're like, there's no lights outside. I said, look up. They weren't used to seeing stars. And this is a song I taught them. The beginning part changes, I'll sing that. Your part. This is a song of defiance and of healing. And hopefully one that will spread. Your part goes like this. Repeat after me. Don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. And if you want to, oh, that part wasn't to repeat, sorry. That's awesome. But do as I do. Reach up. When we get our bodies involved, this is something that's very true about trauma healing. When you get your body involved, unstuck things come out. You get to move it. If you're ever processing deep grief, rage, something from your past, move your body. Do it while you're drumming. Do it while you're walking. All right, so we're going to go drag your spirit down together. Don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Now you repeat again. We're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you round. So we'll sing it a few times, you'll catch on. That's the end of every verse. But really important, drag your spirit down. All right? Now, obviously, we're made up of many characters inside us. Get in touch with your inner, Baptist preacher. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Lutherans. Get in touch with your inner Baptist preacher. You may slip, you may slide, stumble and fall by the roadside, but don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. Awesome. We're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Well, some say yes, and some say no. Some wait and see which way the wind is gonna blow. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. We're walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn you around. Woo! Walk with the rich and walk with the poor, and learn from everyone, 'cause that's what life is for. But don't you ever let nobody drag your spirit down. We're walking walking up to heaven. Don't let nobody turn around. All right, we're going to scat now.
Oh, there we go.
All right? So scat has a few different meanings. Okay? We're going to do the kind where we sing. Okay? A funny sound. Can you reach that little child who just doesn't care about being foolish? Let's try it. Okay, you got a table in front of you, you got feet, you got hands, you got snaps, whatever you got.
Go on with whatever. If you have another song, go ahead. If you have questions, whatever you'd rather do. Do you like questions or music, or what do you want to do?
Music.
Music? Would you have another one?
I don't know any other song.
Oh, but a lot of people here have been to service, but some have to get going.
And I
Heard your drumming back here.
So are there other questions? When's my birthday? The accordion? Oh, that's adorable. Thank you. It's in January. When is it? 28th? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm 22nd. We're like sisters. We're like sisters. So I just wanted to say that moment of singing together, drumming together, that's community. Obviously, you're already a community. But if I walk in and I bring that, and I carry that light of community within me and that knowledge that we are connected, the music comes. People will sing, people will play, and you can't help but feel like you belong there. Isn't that correct? So snap up, spread it around, change those closed moments to open. And any other questions, or should we do another two? Yeah? Part in this song. Surprise, surprise. Your part goes deedle 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 dum dum dum. And the second part's a little harder. It goes deedle 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 do. Now this is a song, most of the songs that I write are just kind of about connection and healing. And some of them have been real sad lately. And when I wrote the song, I said, I'm so sick of singing sad songs. I want to write a happy song, but you gotta feel your feels. Can't pretend you don't. That just creates more worse problems. So out came a really happy song with the same sad subjects. So here we go. It's still sad, but it's a happy sad. Hip, hip, hooray, the sun is shining today. Give thanks and sing a new song. And oh, I know there's so much to let go. And oh, so much that's already gone. No. Look at the door, there's a never-ending war. People with hearts and minds are raging. And oh, I know there's so much to let go. And still so much that's worth saving. No. Here's your part. Dee-lee-lee-lum-dum-dum. Oh. Such a sight, holding on with all our minds to what we think we thought that we once knew. Caterpillar, butterfly, we all are born to die and die and die and die and live anew. Ha-cha! Dee-lee-lee-lum-dum-dum. Oh. Dee-lee-lee-loo. Oh. Dee-lee-lee-lum-dum-dum. Maybe you're like me, your heart's a raging. And oh, I know there's so much to let go. And still so much that's worth saving. No. Dee-lee-lee-lum-dum-dum. No. Dee-lee-lee-loo. Again. Dee-lee-lee-lum-dum-dum. As usual, we got one on accordion. If you'd like to see my whole band, actually we're missing a bass player. Anybody play bass? Gene, you play bass?
No. I played washtub bass.
Oh, that sort of counts, kind of. I think our next gig is July 7th. It's a Friday night at the Raven. And that's in Prescott. It's a nice little downtown cafe restaurant. And you can also look on our website and see more. I think that's in the thing. So thank you very much, and thanks for your singing, you guys. Give yourselves a round.